Hi and welcome. This is Dr.Leonor Murciano-Luna. And I just wanted to connect with everyone here on my channel and just talk a little bit about this huge challenge that we're all facing, on many levels, the challenge with the coronavirus and the state of panic or fear that we might find ourselves in at this time. I wanted to give a perspective about what's happening on a little bit more on the level of consciousness, on the kind of the global level, the awakening that we've all been talking about. And hopefully that'll be helpful to everyone. And then I'd like to actually do a practice, leave you with a practice that you can do to awaken to something deeper within yourself, awaken to your essence, and really help you to ground. If you're feeling a little bit pulled out of sorts, we're all being hit with different information at different times. It's hard to really find our ground, feel safe. So the experience of what we're having, a lot of us, really pulls us out even more of our center, of our essence, of our connection with heart, with source. And so I think it's really important at this time to find a way to connect. So I want to talk a little bit about this pandemic and the whole coronavirus experience that a lot of us are having. And I think at the core of it, for me, for many of those that I've been in contact with, I think that what it's really pushing up against our fears, of course, because it's pushing up against the unknown. And in many ways, it's also making us really deal with our own fears, and of course ultimately the fear of death, because ultimately it is bringing up our mortality. When we hear the news and the media, it's almost like if you get this, you're going to die. And of course that's not the reality. I'm not saying that we need to take precautions on many levels, which I'm going to speak of in a few minutes. But I think that where we end up going when we're hearing what is happening and the reaction is, it really does bring up our fear. It brings up fear of dying. And it's almost like a near-death experience, if you may. I think that is the global initiation that we're all in. It's a global near-death experience because we all feel like we're actually dying, or that is a possibility. And for me personally, many of you know that I've had a near-death experience when I was 6, and I experienced a lot of fear and terror, which I've really, experienced many times in my life. Very deep fear and terror, and have had to work through those layers of fear and terror in many different ways. I've had different physical crises and spiritual crises, and so that has really informed a lot of the work that I do, from trauma and from just facing those emotions myself. And what I do know is that on the other side of fear and terror is really our essence, is really our true nature of our soul, is where we find peace. However, it's not very easy to feel safe or feel like we're in peace when we're experiencing fear and terror. And I talk a lot about my new book, which I'm going to mention at the end as well. My book is out, and it really talks a lot about how we, as a culture, are steeped in fear and survival. And this is our primary way of functioning. rather than, and what we're shifting into, and the awakening is to shift into a ability to thrive, to function more from our right brain of creativity, of feminine, of yin, rather than from the left brain of thinking and trying to understand and do from our intellectual perspective. So right now we're handling, and not we personally, but as a global, as a culture, as a society, it's being handled from an intellectual perspective. So that means it's being handled from the idea that we think we know, and that the more that we know intellectually, the more that we can control. But a lot of us know that we can't control, and this is what brings in the fear, because we really can't control the unknown, and we ultimately don't have control in our lives of when we, when we die, or many things that happen to us on a daily basis. So kicking up this fear and terror of our mortality is very intense, and we're being fed a lot of this energy, the fear energy, constantly through the channels of media. And so I wanted to counteract some of that, because yes, there is this pandemic. Yes, there is that potential that it can affect you ultimately. However, between that reality and what is right here in front of you right now is there's a wide range of things that you can do. And there's also an opportunity for a shift in consciousness, which we have all, been waiting for in many ways. We've all been talking about the shift in consciousness, the awakening to the feminine, which is really the essence within ourselves, the unseen, unheard, natural state of our being, our spirit. And so this is an opportunity, because when we really allow ourselves to actually move through the fear and into and surrender to the fear, surrender that part of us that thinks it knows what it's doing, which is basically our constructed ego, or our conditioned ego, our intellect. And when we allow something bigger than us to actually, if we allow ourselves to actually surrender into that, we are able to then discover a whole other aspect of our being, a place where we can actually settle into and feel our peace. This is where the peace is. This is where the love is. This is our unconditioned self, which is our essence, which is our soul, which is the divine oneness that we truly are. So to me, the fear is really the gatekeeper. The fear takes us right up to that edge, and we have no choice but to surrender. And when we do, we realize that a whole new level of consciousness opens up, that we actually start to open up into a whole new level of consciousness within ourselves. And that is what we're all ultimately being asked to awaken to. That is really the shift that we've been waiting for, and it's here. I mean, there's no denying that we're at the edge of this shift, and everybody is on the same page globally, which is really by itself is unbelievable. I think that we had been waiting for, how is this shift going to happen? And how are we going to get the whole globe, the whole planet on the same page. And I think that we're here, we're on the same page, we're facing fear. And now what are we going to do? Are we going to stay in fear? It's interesting to note that fear is a dysregulator. It dysregulates our immune system. It dysregulates the harmony in our physical body. It dysregulates your immune system. It dysregulates our glandular system. It dysregulates the biochemistry in your system. So if we're trying to actually stay healthy, because that's one of the things that at this time is very important to do. I mean, it's been important all the time, but especially now, moving into fear, staying stuck in the fear, really dysregulates our systems. So the catch is not to run from fear, deny the fear, pretend like we don't have fear, because those things, it's still, you're still vibrating at that level within. So the trick is to actually feel the fear and let it bring you right to the edge where something new can actually open up within you. So it's about really processing and moving through the fear. It's about being with the fear, the anxiety, whatever the emotions are. You might have different emotions. I'm talking about fear because it's really underneath a lot of the thoughts that we have is this fear and terror. That's the generalization of the emotions that it brings up for all of us at this time. So it's important to note that it's not about sidestepping it or pretending or distracting ourselves or, hoarding toilet paper in order to feel safe because we have enough things. So these are all things we do in reaction to our fear. I think it's really important to create some space where you can create some sacred time and sacred space to do some of the practices that will actually move you and let you face your worst fears so that you can then be anchored in something greater than yourself. I do want to mention that, of course, it's affecting us on all four levels, right? It's affecting us physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Ultimately, our spirit, and this is the type of medicine, conscious feminine medicine that I practice, and the system that I have developed throughout the years is really the medicine for our souls. It's really spirit medicine. It's medicine that's going to affect all the other levels, the emotional, the mental, and ultimately the physical, because your physical body is really a reflection of the inner states of what's happening a lot of times unconsciously. For us, maybe now a lot of it is conscious because we're feeling the fear. I mean, it's facing us right now. We're steeped in it. There's nowhere else to turn. But a lot of times it's unconscious, and whatever is going on unconsciously, through our wounding, through our beliefs that we've created in our constructed ego, in our conditioned ego, this is what actually creates the state of wellness in our body, the state of health, and what your body is, the condition that your body is in. So in order for us to strengthen ourselves physically and be in the most optimum health, we need to address these other levels. So that doesn't exclude the physical level. So I want to say first and foremost that we need to make sure that we're addressing the physical, because it's all happening at once. So our physical body, our emotional body, our mental body, there really is no separation. So if we have a very bad diet, for example, it's going to reflect, because our body is going to have to work really hard to clear out those toxins. And so your systems, your immune system, your digestive system, can be overtaxed and can actually be, dysregulated to a certain degree. So we want to put in really good fuel. We want to, eat as organic as possible. We want to eat healthy. We want to do, these regimens that, they're out there in terms of, having your vitamins and vitamin C, vitamin D, magnesium, zinc, things like that. There's different herbal formulas. We want to strengthen our body on the physical level, what we're feeding it. We want to strengthen our body on the mental level. So what are you feeding it on the mental level? What are you watching? If you're tuned into fear and hysteria and panic, because part of you wants to know and wants to stay alert, but that's what you're feeding it, that's going to dysregulate your system. So we want to be responsible for what we're doing mentally. What are we hearing? What are we tuning into? Fear is contagious. Fear is the greatest contagious vibration here. And, we have to watch how that's coming in and how we're letting it in. So if we're tuning into that vibration of fear, it's going to affect you. Also then, we talked briefly about the emotions. What are we doing on the emotional level? Are we able to be with our emotions that are coming up, with our fears? How are we giving ourselves time and practices to tune in, to move through? Do we have spiritual practices that we do on a daily basis? Do we have, practices that we can tune in and transform the emotions, be with the emotions that are coming up? For some of you, that might be journaling. For some of you, that might be talking to someone else that allows you to actually, express. When we express through words, sometimes that's all we need to just be heard and be witnessed. And that's something we can do with ourselves, which we're going to actually do in a few minutes. So taking care of the physical, the mental, and the emotional, it's our responsibility, because we're responsible for our state of consciousness. We're responsible for, regardless what's happening outside of us, we're responsible to connect with our truest essence, which is one of safety, of peace, of love. And we can be in any crisis, in any situation, and still be anchored in that truth within us. And when there is such a crisis in our lives, which we've all had these crises in different ways. Of course, now we're all having this crisis at the same time. But it's important to be able to give ourselves the space and the time to work through this so that we're not caught spinning in the fear. Because that's not empowering at all. And that, again, that causes our systems, our physical system, to deteriorate even more. And that's not helpful in any way. So what I want to do now is I want to take just a few minutes to move into the practice. I just want to check, make sure, because once I do the practice, I'm going to just let you go, and I'm not going to keep talking about, because I want to leave you in that state. So I don't want to talk about anything else after that. So just a couple of announcements that I mentioned earlier. So my new book is out. It's called Birth of the Conscious Feminine. A new era of feminine sovereignty. And really, it's all about healing. It's for women, and it's all about healing our wounds and our conditioned aspect that we've been living in, the aspects of fear and survival that we've been living in for the last 5,000 years. And it's really about different ways to do that, what it is that we have to take into consideration. And then the book has it actually carries you through the processes and the initiations of the feminine, which bring you into a state of awakening to your essence, awakening to the feminine, and being empowered to the true reality of who you are. Because who you are, your consciousness of love, is there. It's always there. It's here. It hasn't gone anywhere. It doesn't come and go depending on, how you feel that day. What happens is that we are the ones that disconnect from that true level of consciousness that we are. We're the ones that disconnect from that oneness because we're conditioned to function from that fear and survival. So the practices are all geared to anchor you in the truth of who you are and to heal the wounds that you've experienced, not just yourself, but also collectively. So it's about this whole collective shift that's happening. And I say not just yourself because we're also carrying those wounds for everyone in our lineages from before us. So we're the ones here right now that are healing this, if we so choose to. And if the book resonates and you do choose to get it, I'm actually doing a promotion that you will receive 1 month free in our new group that we're going to be actually practicing and doing all of the practices of the sacred initiations of the feminine to clear all the wounding, to clear the field, to clear the survival paradigms that we've been carrying, all the old programming. So if you choose and you resonate, I'll put some links below. You'll receive your first month membership free. It's all going to be online. We're doing monthly healing program for the book. All the practices in the book we're going to be teaching you so that you can do this on a daily basis. Secondly, I'm also going to be doing during this time weekly programs just to bring ourselves together and support for those of you that want to go deeper and really take on this challenge and really shift from survival to thriving in what's happening, and really move into the consciousness of love and not get caught in the fear. And it's challenging. It's challenging for all of us. And there's nothing wrong if we're feeling fear. It's important to feel what we're feeling, and we might feel it in waves. And what's important is not to expect that you're not going to feel, or to use that as a measurement of your spiritual development, but to actually have the tools to move through whatever you're going through and to keep evolving with it, because it's very fluid right now and it's coming at us in many, many ways. This is very, very strong times now. So having said that, I'll put some information below, and I think that was all of my announcements. So just take a few minutes now to actually sit in a very comfortable position and close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Check one more thing. And close your eyes, and I want you to just start to focus on your breath. And just let yourself really just feel your body. Feel your physical sensations in your body. Let yourself shift your focus from the outside to your inner body, your subtle bodies, your energy field, and just notice what you feel, your sensations in your body. Notice your emotional body, what you might be feeling at this time. Just notice your breath. And it's like creating the awareness that you're going to open up your heart really, really wide. And you're just going to breathe, and you're going to allow whatever is happening in your body, in your subtle body, your emotions, your physical body. You're just going to allow it to be there. Like just open up, and your heart energy, your heart space is really, really, really big. So you can just know that you can breathe wide into your heart space and allow everything to be there. You don't have to push away. Breathing into what might be uncomfortable and what might be comfortable. So all of it, the pleasant and the unpleasant. Yeah. And just letting yourself become aware. It's like slowing your breath down, shifting. When there's so much going on outside of you, our mind goes into hypervigilance, and so we want to just see and be aware and, on the outer. And so we want to start to slow that down, even for a few minutes. You're just right here, becoming present to your body, to your sensations, to your emotions, right here, right now. And just breathing right through it. And if there's tears that come up, just welcome those tears. It's a way for your body to flush out and flush through some of the intensity. Yeah. It also flushes through and shifts the biochemistry, the cortisol, the adrenaline, all of the stress hormones, just by breathing and being. And feel your sitting bones, and just feel yourself anchoring deeper into your sitting bones, anchoring deeply into the earth. And as you're doing that, as you're anchoring down through your root center, that's really in the physical part of your body, it's really by your perineum, and all the way down from there, your energy. Just think of your energy of your spine going all the way down through your tailbone, through your perineum, all the way into the earth, grounding deeply into Mother Gaia, to the earth. And then feeling, I want you to feel the response from Mother Earth of this warm golden light coming up, not just to hold you, but actually embracing your whole physical body, emotional body, just coming up from the earth, enveloping you like a nice envelope. Yeah. And then start to feel your body relax even more. Because Mother Gaia is here. Mother Earth is here. Nothing has shifted. She's right here holding you energetically. And start feeling yourself grounding into Mother Earth. You can do this process outside tomorrow. And start feeling that warm golden light coming through your whole body, each and every cell. And start feeling that divine light also of the cosmic, the great mother, the divine, the oneness, source of all, that gives birth to all. That's also the energy that's coming in through the earth. You can feel that all around you, holding you. Breathe that in. Then I want you to place your right hand on your heart center and your left hand on your sacral womb. Your sacral womb is just a couple inches right beneath your belly button. And just breathing in. Just letting these two places connect. And your job is to just notice what's happening here. You might feel a lot of energy, you might feel a lot of restlessness, maybe some anxiety, maybe some love, maybe some peace, whatever, or a combination. Not just one way, sometimes we're feeling different things at the same time. So we don't want to change anything, we're just noticing, just breathing into. Giving it space. Moving into that beautiful stillness of your essence, slowly but surely, just dropping in deeper and deeper. There you go. Sometimes you want to breathe out through your mouth. Helps to clear, transform the energy even more. Just allowing yourself to drop into the womb of the mother, the divine mother, divine essence, which is in you. It's who you are. You are an extension of her, of oneness, of source, of God essence, of goddess, which I call the Great Mother. And then I want you to notice any feelings that are uncomfortable, if there's any fear rising in this moment, any fear at all, any anxiety, anything uncomfortable, any thoughts, any places of constriction or tightness, just being aware. And I want you to breathe into it. So you're meeting it with love and compassion. It's like if there was a frightened, scared little girl within you that's scared. It doesn't know what to do. And just let yourself be with the not knowing. And it's like, it's okay to be with whatever your feelings are right now. Drop into them. and meet it with love. Know that you're receiving the love from Earth Mother, and you're receiving the love of the Great Mother of Oneness, the Divine that's always there. And even if you can't connect with your own essence of oneness, of love, your own spirit, because you're caught in whatever emotion you're in right now, it's okay. Just breathing in, and the breath is the bridge to the love. So you're bringing in the love through your breath. And being with the not knowing. And we're all really facing this place of not knowing right now. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't know anything, really. And so just be with that. First, there's fear that comes up around not knowing. And if we allow ourselves to surrender into the fear, into the fact that we don't know, this is the gateway. This is the door of your divine self. Is right on the other side of that door. And see if you could just surrender into it. That's it. Just surrendering into it. Letting yourself be with I don't know. And move into really the essence of grace. The essence of the divine. It only comes through the surrender. Can you let go, and are you willing to let go of your need to know, need to fix, and just surrender? Just for this moment. Breathing. And what might be also helpful is to dialogue with this part of you, the not knowing. Letting that part of you be heard. It's like I hear you. I feel you. I know that you don't know. I know that you're scared. I know that you feel alone. And it's okay. It's okay. I hear you. I love you. And you can hold on to the love. You can hold on to the love. You can surrender into the love. Love is always here. Love hasn't gone anywhere. Love is right here, right underneath the fear, the loneliness, the scary thoughts. Love doesn't stop. Your essence, your breath, it's right here. And feel that connection in your heart and in your sacral womb, in both hands. And feel the love coming in from the outside also, from the cosmic, divine frequency of love from the Great Mother. Frequency coming in through your root from Mother Gaia, from the Earth Mother, activating your true essence, your light, your love. And this is where you can rest in. This is what you can rest in, your true essence. This is where you can let go completely into. Surrender. Surrender the need to know. Surrender the mind. Let the mind surrender to the heart, as the Sufis say. That's it. That's it. And let each and every cell activate this matrix of love that's there. It's always been there. It's who you are. That's it. And what we focus on expands. So we want to focus on the love. Believe in the love. That's it. And that's love is what alchemizes and metabolizes all that fear. That's it. And the breath helps you also metabolizing the fear. And your surrender. Because what you're surrendering to is the thoughts, the fear, the emotional states, what you think you know. And in a way, you're transforming who you think you are, what you think might happen. You're dying to all those levels because none of that is true. The only thing that's true and constant is your state of essence, the oneness, your source. This feminine essence of your being. The unseen aspect of you. This is your true nature. And so this is your conditioned self, your ego, dying to who you think you are till this moment. And awakening to your true being. This is part of your initiation. And this is part of the greater initiation that we're all going through as a planet. Global initiation right now. This is it. And so let that peace, let that light keep expanding. Keep surrendering. Keep surrendering. And noticing what happens when you surrender into your light, into the true oneness consciousness of your being, into your essence. This is the feminine essence that I talk about. This is the love, the compassion that we've disconnected from for women and really for the whole planet. This is what we're coming back into connection with. True selves. The capital S. And in that you find the safety. The safety is here. Can't find the safety anywhere else but right here. There you go. And that's what you can anchor in. Beautiful. And so at this point, I'm going to complete our meeting for today. I'm going to put some links below. You can go to my website, Conscious Feminine Medicine. If you're resonating with this work and with my book, and you can also go online, Amazon, Birth of the Conscious Feminine, and tune in here. We're going to be doing more of these. I'm going to be bringing through some more practices. And thank you, and stay safe. Many blessings. Much love to all. You can do this. Stay in the love. Good evening.